Hello everyone, welcome back to Xucaboa 5.0 100% Vanilla Baby, episode number 4. I'd like to say thank you, gracias, obrigado, to my new subscribers, Canal Sala de Jogos, Checo MX, REMG Gaming, Ronnie Stewart, and A Pisces. Quick notification there, if you don't see your name on this list, it means I probably can't see you because of your privacy settings, so leave a comment if you did subscribe, and I'll be sure to name something after you. Otherwise, you will remain in anonymity as you please. That's just fine by me. Here we are back in Xucaboa 5.0. We're looking at our last milestone right here, seeing what we've unlocked. Whole lot of good stuff, lots to do. Our next milestone will be at 2,400 people, so 1,000 population increase. First, we're going to add some district painting. That's been unlocked with this last milestone, and while I don't have any specific objectives with this, well, except maybe here, I guess, we'll kind of separate this agricultural area. But otherwise, I don't have any specific objectives with the districts, just kind of delineating where one area is and another. I'm not going to set any policies or anything yet. Going to fill in this central district all the way into our little cone, which I think now kind of looks like a fish. Kind of looks like a little fish. Okay, in our neighborhood district, we're going to give it an agricultural specialization. But that is not the same as creating an industry zone that we will build agriculture in. So this next piece here that I'm doing now, you need Industries DLC to accomplish. So you see there's two different names there because they're technically two different zones. Alright, coming back to this big empty area, I think we're going to start setting up some new blocks. I'm going to go a little freeform here, a little bit wavy, because I think that'll be nice. Still blocks, but not totally rectangular. That will give us some interesting shapes in the future to play with. Right now, we're going to add some landscaping. Here we're going to start playing around with some park paths. See what looks best. I actually think we're just going to use the regular concrete path, because the others kind of have a weird ending and it looks strange in this plaza. Now we'll add some props. Some park props. These park props are found in the parks button, not in the landscaping button, just so you know. But the paths, the fences, they're all in the landscaping button, in the landscaping tool. Place a few bushes, got some benches and light posts, garbage cans. We don't want people littering in our plaza. It's a nice plaza. Actually, I guess it's two plazas. It's Agustina and Luis K. plazas. I don't think I'm going to put a fence there. It makes no sense. Alright, right now we're really just waiting for our bank account to fill up enough to put down a high school. We're just doing decorating, and meanwhile it's very cheap. It's not going to slow us down by too much. Let's do Isaura School right now. We can put some fence, keep the kids safe from wandering out into the street. Give them some things to play with. I think we're going to add this nice flowery tree because it's just very nice. give a little bit of color to the neighborhood. Make this is going to be, I mean, obviously, this is going to be one of the nicest schools. So we got to make it a nice school. A little bit of light posts around here, so that way at night we make sure there's no kids that forgot to get on the school bus hiding out in the dark. All right. Next, let's detail the Ohad police station. We'll use the ore industry fence, and as you see, when I went from right to left, the spikes actually faced the wrong way. So when you're placing this down, very minor detail, but if you go from left to right, the spikes will face out, which is what their purpose is. But it's kind of a harsh thing. We're right next to the jungle, so let's add some jungle bushes around it. A couple of bushes inside around the fence. This might be a bit overkill, but that's alright. Alright. Can't forget the Abu Volunteer Fire Department. So let's play around with which paths can go where. Now, the bike path, the concrete, and the gravel come with the base game. But if you see those other paths and you're like, how do you have those? And I don't. Those come with Park Life's DLC. Just a heads up. I will try to mention certain things like that when I remember, but I did buy a lot of DLC at the same time. I don't always know what goes with what. Real quick funny thing, I just named the water treatment plant, the wastewater treatment plant, as Xucaboa. Now mala means bad, boa means good in Portuguese, and I just learned that in Brazilian Portuguese, Xuca actually means something very, very surprising. In Portugal, it does not mean that at all. My cat's name is Xuca, the city is named for her. But let's just say the wastewater treatment is appropriate. Alright, I'll let you all be brave enough to search for that, if you want. We'll decorate around the Mohammed playground over here. You know what, that's kind of an open corner. Let's not close it off all the way. Make room for a path to place around. This is a gravel path. Paths are nice. They're, you know, in several ways they're a lot more flexible than roads, but in other ways they're a little bit more tricky. So you just play around with them and do what works. The good thing is they're very cheap, so you can mess around and delete stuff. It's only like $10, $20, something like that. Not the end of the world. We'll start throwing in paths in these alleyways that I've left open, just to give the people in our city more options to walk around. You see, I'm centering the end nodes in those plus signs so that sort of thing doesn't happen. This is a way in which roads are sometimes easier, is with the nodes. Forgot to put a fence around the fire department. Now, is any of this necessary? No. You do not have to play this way at all, but I really like to. Whether it's in a vanilla game like this or in a modded game, you can really go crazy. There's a lot more options. But even in a vanilla game, you can do a lot with very little to really visually enhance your city. So if you don't do that and you want to, give it a try. Play around. See how creative you can be. Alright, we're almost to the point where we can afford the high school. But I really should start zoning a little bit too. We haven't even gone up 100 population and we've got 1,000 to go up. So let's make this new neighborhood a European suburbia. neighborhood. The houses, the low density houses will still, everything will be low density, but they will look visually different. When I have these irregularly shaped blocks, I try somewhat to leave some gaps in enough places that I could create paths in the weird spots, if you know what I mean. I don't overthink it, I just try to keep that in the back of my head while I'm zoning. Got some buildings upgrading, that's good. I think it's time for a high school. So I'm going to place the European high school right here. It's a good looking asset. And we're going to name this, for my Roslyn crew, the Roslyn Crew High School. All right, this is for you, Connor and Richard and Jeff and Andres and Isaura. Roslyn Crew for life. So, again, with the high school, it's a European district style asset. I don't think I had that button clicked when I started this, but I have clicked it since, and that's okay, it's all still vanilla. Normally, European style buildings only spawn in European theme maps, but you can choose to add it to other cities. So, oh, here it's a little bit sad. I'm destroying the buildings got abandoned. These were some of the first shops in the whole city. But we'll get over it. We won't get too sentimental about it. And now looking at this, I think it's important to have a barrier between the shops and these fine people's backyards, because you don't want some weirdos from the wine and liquor shop stumbling into your lawn while they got a bottle of alcohol in their hand or something. You know, who knows what kind of people are going into these shops. You don't know them, they're strangers. So we'll kind of, there's nothing wrong with having residential next to commercial, but there's usually some kind of physical barrier or natural barrier, something like that to keep them out. So we'll put some fences and trees. Continue our zoning a bit. If you look at our demand bars, they've been pretty much about 50% the whole time, which is great. Right now I saw my electricity demand was not being met. I didn't have enough supply, so I increased the budget to 125%. You don't want to keep it that way. It's very inefficient. 100% is maximum efficiency. After that, there's a major drop. But it will hold me over until I am financially ready to put in another power plant, which hopefully is soon. Yeah, after 100%, you're spending much more per megawatt or kilowatt or whatever it is than you are before 100%. All right, so I've actually just redistricted the fish block to be European residential because I think that makes more sense. They're a little bit more appropriate looking buildings, a little less random around an agricultural area. So now we're gonna put this concrete path around the high school, the Roslyn Crew High School. Doesn't have to be squared off all the way. We'll put a fence there, very aggressive fence. Sometimes high school can feel a bit like a prison. This is less to keep people out, more to keep students in. But we'll put a basketball court here, start plopping down some trees, and we'll extend the sidewalk with concrete. I think will be a nice touch, and then we'll put it there, getting some cool shapes to fill in with some trees. Pretty forested right there. I think that's enough. And let's continue with that sidewalk extension. Add a couple of trees. That's too much. Let's delete some trees. We'll put those along the fence. Here we'll add some bushes. I think we're going to put a path here. Kind of make a little triangular park. Little micro park. Now this isn't like a Parks Life DLC park, but I'll just decorate it and make it nice. It's just for aesthetics. It won't have any actual impact, I don't think. Unless maybe it raises the property value a little bit just by adding trees and props and things. But not more for form than function, if you know what I mean. Put some lamps there for everybody. That's a nice looking park. Nice looking area in our education center. That's a nice hotel, but we're going to destroy it because it's way too big for that corner. There will be a place. A time and a place for that building. I do like it. It would actually be pretty good on this Xucaboa Avenue. But I've made all the buildings historical, so we'll just have to wait for later. There we go. Very illuminated area. The kind of place that you want to go, but you don't want to live across the street from. You know what I mean? Very bright. Alejandro, I forgot last episode to name something after you, so you are getting the Alejandro B-ball court. The basketball court is going to be in your name. Alright, yeah, let's tidy up that street a little bit. Okay. I've been learning quickly that without all the buildings unlocked, it's very hard to name everything for everybody right off the bat. I certainly do not have a large YouTube channel, but I have enough people to name stuff for that it's kind of hard to think of things. Here we've got the Christina MD Medical Clinic. We're going to start to detail this a little bit. Add some lights. A couple of bushes in the kind of crack right there between the sidewalk. I don't know, it's kind of an interesting look. I don't know if the bushes make sense in between the sidewalk, but we'll do it. We'll do it for now. Alright, there's a field. Can't put any trees there because of the pollution, but there actually is no ground pollution. That comes from agricultural, industrial specialization assets. I think there's some noise pollution, but there is no ground pollution, which is great. It's one less thing you gotta worry about. Alright, we got some money now. We got 55 grand, 56 grand. You see, we've almost filled in this new block area. So that's good. Our population is 1,836 at this moment. So we're getting there, close. Halfway there. This area right here with all the schools, let's name it the Vanilla Education Center, this district. Here, we'll call it the Xucaboa Center, because of Xucaboa Avenue. Here, we'll just call this, we'll give it a temporary name, the Grid Suburb, because it is a rectangular grid. We'll call this the Euro Suburb. And we'll call this Farmington for now. Why not? Farmington Agricultura, we'll All those are temporary names for the moment. We're actually starting to get a little bit close to that landfill. It happens every time to me. No matter where I put the landfill, I know that I'm just going to accidentally go in that direction. Because it's the direction that makes most sense. That's something I think I can improve in my gameplay. But we'll worry about that in a minute. Right now, let's fill in this big empty backyard area. Because I think this is going to be really a cool little spot for a playground. Again, not a functional playground park asset like you can place, but we'll just kind of make our own custom one. Because it'll look cool. You don't want just this big empty grass field in the back. I mean, it could be nice too, but very boring from a City Skylines perspective. Now I'm starting to think, instead of going towards the landfill, let's go over in this direction. And you see I've turned on the terrain height tooltip, or info panel rather, and kind of followed the curve. But already I've changed my mind about the avenue continuing in that direction. Do that, get rid of that ugly bump, just flatten that out a bit. That, and instead of going up that way, we'll actually kind of swing this around in that direction. All right, I got a little curvy there. We'll change that later. It's just for now. Smooth that out just a little more. There we go. I think that's a reasonable way to extend SKYLINE Boulevard. This might end up becoming sort of like an inner ring loop. I'm not sure, we'll see. The next milestone, we unlock a new tile. There's still so much of this tile to play around with. I don't know if we're going to open it up right away. We'll see how far we get in this episode. It's a nice looking car wash across from the plaza. Oh, our electricity problem has returned. I think at nighttime the demand changes quite a bit. Maybe because of the lights. I know there are resources that explain this, but I need to read them again. Something, I don't remember exactly how it works. Do a little bit of micro detailing right in this corner. That house has a nice hedge, so I really only have to put in a little bit of fence. Yeah, I think that looks nice. Again, I'm playing with fire here, flirting with disaster by building in the direction of the pollution. But we're gonna see just how close we can get. All right, call me a daredevil if you want. But yeah, we're gonna get a little crazy. Because that's how we live in Xucaboa. All right, we do what we want when we want. Right now, we want to start working on our farm industry district. And we'll make it a nice dirt road, a little bit windy, but not specifically squiggly. Okay, where are we going to put this farm main building? You know what? I think we're going to extend it in this direction. We want it to be closer to the highway So this way, we have an easier way to access the highway in the future. But maybe next episode we'll do what I've been talking about the whole time, which is work on that industrial highway exit. But for right now, this is good. This is going to be a pretty small start. Subject to many changes. We're going to make sure we place our first fields in an area that is very fertile. We will extend our water supply over to these orange trees so they have a good supply of municipal water and sewage. We're going to build a little side road here and put 2 silos to collect all the oranges. I don't know if oranges are usually stored in silos. I'm pretty sure they're not, but in this town they are. That's how they've always done it. It's always been that way, the old guy told me in that park, sitting on the bench. The old orange silos, that's what he said. We're going to name this, I'm going to start naming things. We're going to name this for Pedro from Canal Sala de Jogos. He is a YouTube creator as well. He plays a lot of City Skylines and publishes it on his YouTube channel. It is in Brazilian Portuguese, but don't let that stop you if you don't speak or understand it. It's great. I really enjoy watching his channel. Alright, we added our next power plant, so we're going to turn down the budget back to 100%. Now the thing I'm going to talk about the future is we're going to redo our power. But we need money. It takes money to make money. Add a little bit of lighting over here. Not too much, it's a farm area, but you don't want to be in the dark either. Got a couple of warnings, but I'm not too worried about it. I think because it took so long for us to place our high school down, there's a gap in our educational pipeline, I believe is what Lee Hawkins calls it. Another YouTube channel that's fun to watch. He's got a very unique style, but very, very informative. He worked out the numbers on everything. Ooh, we've got red numbers here, just checking the budget. I think it's a fluctuation from our industry turning off at night. Nobody works in the industry at nighttime, at least not yet. Ooh, I just got a message. Okay. I'll throw one in here. Let's make sure our signals are good, that we have no stoplights where we don't want them. Yeah, those are a little too close. We'll de-zone those and rezone there. Let's see. Let's see what we can get away with. That's a nice little park. That park came out nice. I really like it. I think I miszoned there. I don't want residential on the boulevard. Let's see what grows here. That's kind of a nice. Oh no, I guess it's the same one as the other. I was looking at it from a different angle. But that futuristic type of low density industrial, that level 1 is okay. Ooh, we're at Boomtown. Very good. Caramba. We've got a lot to work with here. Let's do a quick save. Very important. And let's think about naming stuff too. Because I've got several names left to go. So we're going to throw a playground here next to the school. We'll call it the Checo MX Playground. Checo is also a YouTuber who publishes a lot of City Skylines content. It is in Spanish. Very enjoyable to watch. Right now, he's working on a vanilla city, I believe, called El Valle, which is great. Vanilla all the way, baby. So there, really quick, it kind of skimmed past it, but I named that child care center, which is a new milestone building. I named that the Ronnie Stewart. I named that Ronnie's Child Care. Here, these orange groves we're going to name for CASEL PS. I think the PS is probably for PlayStation. But if not, let me know. I don't know. I know that there are 3 fields named, but don't worry, I think that's the right amount for a single naming. I think 1 field wouldn't be appropriate. You know, these are fields. They're a big area, but not a lot going on. So we'll name these fields for REMG Gaming. Please, if you're watching this, if you already have something named after you and you don't like it, if you prefer something else, please let me know. I will consider changing it. But you know, I just am kind of naming things on the fly here. So, ay caramba, we've got dead bodies. The bodies are piling up. We got to start thinking about a cemetery now that I'm continuing to play. I think over here would be a nice area. Let's straighten this street out. How do we want to do this? We definitely don't want the cemetery on the boulevard. And we don't even want it on a regular road. We want it to kind of have its own special thing. I'm alright with the corner going up the hill because it's terrain conforming. So it works. We'll add some trees around that next episode. But now we're just gonna prepare that little area, and hopefully the hearses are being dispatched to carry away those who have been dispatched. The last thing we're gonna do is place an elder care dangerously close to the landfill. We're gonna have to start thinking about what to do with the landfill. I put it on the wrong side of this industrial area, but we're gonna name that for a Pisces. You know what? Let's put I spelled it wrong. El Valle in the playground there as a promotion. That's gonna wrap up today's episode, number 4. Hope you all have enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to play. It actually took me 2 hours, which is why I had to speed it up so fast this episode. But I hope that didn't bother anyone too much. Some nice cinematic shots here of our beautiful little city. They're growing up so fast. Everybody here. And this has been Xucaboa 5.0 100% Vanilla Baby, episode number 3. Thank you all, and I'll see you next time.